All right. What's good, y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So, two quick things that I wanted to mention before we get started here. I'll put a timestamp so that if you want to skip to the Sonic Movie 3 stuff, you could get right into the thick of it. But before that, there's a couple of things I feel like I need to say. For starters, this is, unintentionally, my fourth Sonic video in a row. Did not mean for that to happen, but I needed to cover the Sonic X Shadow Generations trailer, and I had to do it relatively soon because it was literally a free like I had to talk about that. That trailer was fire as hell. There was no way I was gonna ignore that. Also, I didn't have anything else edited for that day, so had to talk about that. And then obviously the two before it, I've just been talking a lot of Sonic these last couple days. I'm sorry. Don't worry though, there's gonna be plenty of other content on this channel, and I actually wanted to tell you guys about that specifically. Speaking of which, for anybody that's interested, at the end of this upcoming week, I have a big, juicy video for you guys. If anybody's interested in Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit, well, I have a blind playthrough of the entire game fully edited and ready to go. I would like to put that up at the end of this week because this is something that I would really like to do. I used to do a lot of Let's Plays. I've kind of like to start bringing that back, whether it be in this format or maybe an episodic format. I don't know. I would like to see if anybody's interested. So if you're interested in checking something like that out, I've got a big super cut version of my playthrough blind for Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit coming out this Friday. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe, drop likes and everything like that so that I know that that's something that you would like to see. And whether it be on this video or another video or on that video, let me know what games you guys would like me to play next. I would really like to get your guys' opinions, and I would love to do more videos like that, no matter how long they may end up being. I probably will regret saying that. But either way, regardless, that's all I wanted to say. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of things. So it's heavily speculated that the first real trailer for Sonic Movie 3 is going to be dropping on Tuesday, which at the time of this upload is going to be tomorrow. So there is a very good chance that that is a real thing that's going to happen according to Daniel RPK, which doesn't have the greatest track record right now, especially with the state of the last couple of months, with their last couple of posts saying, oh, it's going to come out this month or it's going to come out next month. Those did not end up being true until now, right? However, the thing that really backs that up is the fact that Sonic's social media have been reposting and retweeting things that make it seem like there is going to be something coming very soon. Also, the fact that they just blatantly confirmed with TikTok and an Instagram reel that Keanu Reeves is just, it's Shadow. He's Shadow. They just confirmed that in a freaking tweet, basically, in a meme. So they were like, that's just kind of a thing now. That's great. That's awesome. I'm here for it. Absolutely. So they're definitely revving up for something. And the closer we get to Tuesday, the more it feels like something is actually going to happen. Now, I may have missed some official news or something that stated that it was officially happening, but it just really does feel like that could be the case. And even if it's not, oh, well, I guess this is just a hopes and wishes list because I don't know how much I'm going to be talking about this movie throughout the course of these next couple of months until it drops, right? So before the trailer drops and any of my hopes and wishes are thrown out the window because we could see it in the trailer, I would like to put these out there now so that I don't sound too ridiculous later down the line when I do make something like this. So why don't we go ahead and get into some of my hopes and wishes. Now, I have some very simple wishes, right? The first one and most obvious is that I want to see that black hedgehog on screen as much as humanly possible. I love Shadow the Hedgehog so much, and I want them to utilize that character to his fullest in this movie. I want to see him on screen almost every other scene. Every other major scene, he needs to be present, right? So I fully expect that to be the case, obviously, because they're going to utilize this character as much as possible. However, we're obviously going to have to spend some time on some human stuff and some, our heroes and things like that. So I just really hope that they spend a lot of time with Shadow. I don't want Shadow only having a total of 5 minutes of screen time. He needs to be taking up a majority of the screen time. This movie is way too hyped up for him not to be the star of the show. Okay, simple as that, nothing too crazy, right? Let's go ahead and move down the list here. The next thing is that I want them to have their own version, and I want to see the insight of their versions of Gerald Robotnik and Maria. Right? These characters are critical to the development of Shadow. They always have been. They have been critical to his history. They're super important. There's no way that we can get away with not having them have some kind of presence or something out throughout this movie, right? We need to see something of him. We need to see Gerald's notes heavily. We need to see, some flashbacks with him and Maria and Gunn. I need to see all of it, okay? All of that stuff needs to be present, but I really hope that they do play a more major role this time around. I mean, obviously, people are saying, like, do not expect Sonic Adventure 2 from this movie, and that's fine, I guess, but Shadow's origin is kind of pretty straightforward. It's mostly it's mostly Sonic Adventure 2. That's his history. So, I know you tell us not to expect that, but that's a critical point in the Sonic franchise because that is the introduction of Shadow. He's the other main character of that game. So, I don't know. It's not that ridiculous to pull a lot from that game. So, I'm just saying I want to see the development of his relationship with Maria and his relationship with Gerald Robotnik and stuff like that, because we don't really have much of him interacting with Robotnik. So that's something that I would definitely like to see in maybe a flashback or something. I feel like that's not too unreasonable to ask for, I think, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. The next thing is obvious. Again, I do want references from Sonic Adventure 2. Again, I'm not expecting the direct plot or anything like that. I do hope that they do follow, some pretty strict guidelines on how to make a decent story if they're not following Sonic Adventure 2. But if they are, that would be great. But if not, I do want to see some heavy references, right? I would appreciate it if they at least followed some of the beginning stuff, like how they end up getting into contact with Shadow, which, originally was Sonic getting arrested because they're like, yo, a hedgehog's terrorizing the city. We know it's Sonic, right? It's got to be, he's fast, he's Sonic, right? And he gets arrested. I want to see that scene. I want to see the beforehand, right? I want to hear him say, like, so you're probably wondering, right? I think it would be kind of funny to see him hopping out of the helicopter and we get the rewind to when he actually got arrested, right? I think that would be really fun. And I want to see him on that damn helicopter wing or whatever. It's not a blade. The piece of the helicopter, I need to see him riding through the city on that. That is critical. Like, there's no shot in hell. There's no shot in hell they don't do that. I need to see that. That needs to be the first thing that happens in that movie. I'm not kidding. I will be so mad if that is not the thing that happens. I will be, I think, disappointed. I think at the very least, I feel like the way that they meet, like him getting arrested and blamed for stuff like that, I feel like that would give him, that gives him all the more reason to go after Shadow. I feel like it's more than valid to hope for that scene, right? And then next to that, of course, I think the one thing I want more than anything is to hear Keanu Reeves say the line. I need to hear him say, "Faker, I think you're the fake hedgehog around here," but I need him to do it like he would do it. I need to hear the dramatic John Wick Keanu Reeves version of that line. God, oh my goodness, I don't know who the reference directors are for the movies. I gotta look more into it, but whoever they are, I know that they know. I know that they know. They cannot not have him say that line. He has to. There's no way they can't get away with that. Keanu Reeves has to say that line. That is so important to me. If nothing else, if no other references, if this is a completely different timeline and storyline, fine, whatever. But if there's one thing I need from this movie, it's him saying that line. That would make my life complete. Please, God, please, Paramount, Jesus, make that line happen. Keanu, I'm begging you, buddy. I'm begging you. Please say that line. That's all I need. And I will be, I can pass away. I can just pass away. That would make me so ecstatic. You have no idea. Okay. I'm getting a little dramatic about it, but that's because that line is just so important to me. It's just, it's incredible. It's incredible. So I really want to see that happen. And then the last thing, right? This one, definitely a little more out there, probably fair to expect it, honestly, at this point. But I want to see main Shadow survive this time, right? Because one of the problems with Sonic Adventure 2 at the end is what came after when it comes to Shadow. We still don't know entirely if we're working with a clone, if we're actually working with the original Shadow, or if it's just some alien or whatever. We still don't know, right? At the time of this, we don't have Sonic X Shadow Generations, and we don't have all the answers yet. So we don't know what Shadow this is. We have no idea, right? At least in the cinematic universe, because they have made it clear that they want to make more Sonic the Hedgehog movies. I want them to make it clear that the Shadow that we see in this movie is the one that we're working with from now on. Okay, and it makes sense for him to survive because obviously they could do a lot with that. We got the Knuckles show, which, you know, you either liked it or you didn't, whatever. You know, I appreciated it existing. They teased a Tails series, like a Tails spinoff, which would be awesome. Would love to see how Tails even got here and stuff like that. I just hit my fan. I'm leaving that in. That's funny. That hurt, though. I would love to see a Shadow spinoff. That would be sick. Could you imagine if they could do what they did with the humans, but with like gun agents? Oh my goodness. That would be raw as hell, man. Yeah, I'm down for that. So, in turn, I would love to see what happens with Shadow, the actual Shadow, after the events of this movie, because there's no way in hell they're not going to keep Shadow, especially if this movie is successful, because I know that Keanu Reeves is going to be a beast to afford again. I know it, but it's going to be so worth it in the end. But that makes me dummy happy. That makes me super happy to think of the possibility of him just being Shadow in the cinematic universe from now on. But again, regardless of what happens with that, I would just like to see and know that main Shadow survives and he's on Earth and he's doing his thing. That's probably going to be the after credits if we don't run into, like, you know, another familiar character, right? Now, originally, I was going to put on this wish list that we did see at least Amy or Rouge. And I feel like seeing at least Rouge would definitely help develop some more story, right? Because Rouge definitely has her own thing, but I don't know. It's kind of a mess. I don't really know how to include Rouge or Amy comfortably, right? They don't really need to in the cinematic universe, but I don't know. Maybe they can play around with it. I'm sure there's easy ways to do it. I don't really see them showing up, in all honesty, so I'm not even going to wish for that. But if it does happen, cool. Awesome. Great. Love to see him. I love those characters. Would love to see him around. But other than that, I think that just about wraps it up for all of my wishes for this movie. Again, hopefully we do get the trailer on Tuesday because we have been waiting an absurd amount of time for the Sonic Movie 3 trailer. So hopefully we do get our hands on that sooner rather than later. But that's enough out of me. I'm passing the mic over to you guys, and I want to hear what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think that we're going to be getting this trailer on, I guess, tomorrow? Are you excited for what we're going to see? Do you agree with any of my wishes? Or you don't think that we're going to get anything from this movie and I'm being bonkers for all of my wishes? Tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I am always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, it does appear to be skedaddle o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I would like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I'm Gonzo. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.